NCTV45, The Train, anytime on your time.
This program was provided through funding from Cedars Restaurant in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. A special thanks to Cedars, featuring Middle Eastern, Italian, and American cuisine. Today's program was furnished by a grant from the Beanery Depot and Deli, featuring coffee, made-to-order subs, and snacks. The Beanery Depot and Deli in Mahoningtown.
Everybody, my name is Alex DeLaverson, and today we are going to be talking some Steelers football, some Notre Dame football, and we're going to be talking about Cleveland Cavalier star LeBron James, which is our producer's favorite player in all of sports. He thinks he's a crybaby. I don't, but we'll leave that for the third session, although I feel like we've talked about this numerous times. Anyway, what's on my mind, and what I think is on the mind of every Steeler fan right now, is what next? Here the Steelers are 6-2. They're on a bye week. They still have a very talented wide receiver in Martavis Bryant that was inactive for last game because of comments he made on social media. Now, here's the thing. Martavis Bryant is obviously a very special talent. I think he is probably one of the most talented wide receivers in all of football. He can stretch the field. He has that big frame. But he kind of reminds me of Plexico Burress in the sense of where is his head at. Now, with that being said, Plexico Burress didn't get inactivated for a game for comments he made on social media, but he did do some bonehead things like spike the ball and fumble it early on in his career, and we all know of him shooting himself in the leg when he was with the Giants. But my point is, the Steelers are stuck with the wide receiver who has, I feel, great talent, and he is really a drama queen who is creating problems for the Steelers. Look at Antonio Brown. Remember when he freaked out a few weeks ago for not getting the ball enough for not getting the ball thrown to him from Roethlisberger enough? And I kind of wonder how much of that too was Martavis Bryant.
Breaking news: Martavis Bryant has been traded to the Cleveland Browns. Laugh out loud.
Listen. He might retire if he got traded to the Browns.
He'll be able to come back after 3 years because he's been sentenced there for bad behavior.
It really is a punishment to be sent to be sent to the Cleveland Browns at this point. Actually, it's been like that for a while. But my whole point is, it's frustrating to me because before the year started, I had the Steelers winning the Super Bowl. And I still think they might. And the reason they might, Angelo, is because the emergence of rookie wide receiver Juju Schuster. So, Martavis Bryant takes the...
crying about the Steelers. They're in first place with the best record in the NFL. And it's, well, we feel bad for the Steelers.
Well,
what do you want them to do?
No, that's what I'm saying. I still think they could win the Super Bowl. I mean, they're 6-2. They're in first place in their division. I know things appear kind of screwy. You know, they've lost 2 games to, they lost one to the hapless Bears. And, Ben Roethlisberger's performance has been very up and down. But we're not going to go through this again. Maybe later in another segment. But the point is, Juju Smith-Schuster has arrived. Martavis Bryant had a pretty non-discreet shot, I would say, Martavis Bryant on social media, Martavis Bryant took a little bit of a shot at Juju Smith-Schuster on social media, and what happens? Juju Smith-Schuster comes out and has a great game against the Detroit Lions. I mean, he had, a 97-yard touchdown reception. I'm trying to look for his stats right now. It was 7 receptions, 193 yards, and a touchdown. He also seems to be embracing the Steelers' culture and limelight. He seems like he fits in. He seems to be a team player. He seems to be more of a gentleman than Martavis Bryant. So I'm all for getting rid of Martavis Bryant because I'm comfortable in the depth they had of a wide receiver.
Send them to Cleveland for a pizza.
I'll take the pizza. But I guess I am frustrated. The Steelers are committed not to trade him. Why? I am of the belief if a player doesn't want to be there, they get rid of him. Do you want a player on your team that's not going to give you 100%? I believe Martavis Bryant probably does have pretty decent value, for a trade. I believe they could get something good for him. But the longer they let this play out, if he continues to not get many catches in the regular season, not to show up, his value can go down. And regardless, I think he's gone after this year anyway. I don't think he's re-signing with Pittsburgh. I believe he's a free agent. So you're trying to make your team better. Go out and at least get a draft pick for him. And they're going to need a draft pick because your favorite player in the whole wide world, Ben Roethlisberger, he's not coming back after this year. He's not going to come back after this year. He's not.
Yeah, Ben will go out with a blaze of glory. If they get to the Super Bowl and win, no, Ben won't be back. And, and kudos to Ben because he's smart enough to know, and maybe smart isn't the word I'm looking for, but there's a time when you have to pass the torch on to the next group.
Well, and I feel like they need to draft a quarterback here coming up in this draft. And is Joshua Dobbs really the next franchise quarterback for the Steelers? I mean, I don't think anyone really thinks so.
Nobody thought Ben Roethlisberger was.
Well, I mean, he was the 11th overall. He was the 11th overall pick. Of course they did.
Hurt. He came in, he was on the bench, the guy got hurt.
No one thought he would be that fast. He would come up that fast. I would agree with that. But the point I'm trying to make is that the Steelers have talent on their team. They have a very small window to win a Super Bowl. This might be the last year. And if Ben retires, they don't win it this year. If they can get another quarterback.
Terry Hanratty's available.
Oh, okay. Yes, bring him in. I mean, I don't know how realistic it is for them to get another established quarterback in there next year. But at the end of the day, they
just need someone capable. Everything else will fall into place.
I hope Le'Veon Bell I hope they could find a way to keep Le'Veon Bell to stick because he's a special player. His first few games back, I feel like he was kind of out of rhythm. But, man, I just feel like the Steelers have so much talent. Bell, Antonio Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster. Their defense is playing a lot better, in my opinion. But anyway, we could go on and talk about the Steelers. So we're going to take our first break here, and now a word from our sponsors.
Funding provided by Four Brothers in downtown Newcastle. This program furnished by the MAD Unit, Mobile Auto Detailing. See Michael Sad at themadunit.com. Funding provided by Main Street Clothiers and Tailors, Washington Street, Newcastle.
Welcome back to the Cedars Sports Corner, everybody. This segment,
Rally Sons of Notre Dame.
I have the most harassing relationship with my producer, I think, out of any type of broadcasting or communication position in this country. But you guys don't see what goes on behind the scenes. But anyway, I do want to talk about Notre Dame this segment because I do have a soft spot in my heart for the Irish, and our producer, he just bleeds green, navy, and gold. And I guess I feel like if there's ever a chance for Notre Dame to get back to national prominence, this is the year. So what I'm saying, Angelo, is can they stay in the Final Four up until playoff time, and can you reasonably expect them to beat?
This weekend, the game against Miami, Notre Dame is good on both sides of the ball. In fairness, they should have just wiped the Georgia game off the map, because I see the Georgia game as even. Okay, you have a catch. Now, they're in the pylons. It's been explained to me that in the pylons, there are cameras. There is no camera angle that they showed during the Georgia game saying that was a catch. The ruling on the field was no catch. They reversed it. The score was 20-19. The game is almost a draw. Okay? Now, with that being said, okay, I think Georgia and Notre Dame have to be shoo-ins. And then I think you look at Clemson and Alabama. And I know there are a lot of one-loss teams. But Notre Dame going down to Miami, I don't think Miami has played anybody.
Well, I feel like you're right for the most part about that. I wouldn't sleep on Miami. You're going to, well, I was going to say you're going to Miami, but I mean, Miami attendance. It's like that could actually end up being a home game for Notre Dame. I mean, people think Pitt's attendance is bad. Oh my goodness. Miami Hurricane.
Rumor has it Miami scrimmaged the Little Sisters of the Poor and got beat by 12. A roll 12 inches.
Well, that's insider.
Little Catholic joke there.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you have some insider information there that the rest of us don't have. But the point is, I don't think anyone's arguing that Notre Dame should not be in the Final Four. I think any reasonable college football fan feels like they should be in the Final Four. I'm just wondering, let's say the season ended today. Could they beat an Alabama, a Clemson? Could they beat them?
Well,
I think they could beat Clemson. I don't know about
Clemson 2 years ago in a driving rainstorm. Georgia was even. And to me, Georgia is every bit as good as Alabama.
And Alabama, I feel like it's almost a semi-pro team.
Alabama, no. When you play Tennessee Chattanooga, no offense, Tennessee Chattanooga, or Southwest Louisiana State Extension School, that does not count. Okay? I would have, if I had the head coach right here, Saban, I would say play a real schedule or don't play at all. Mm-hmm. Okay? I want to see him go on the road and have to play up at Penn State. I want to see him go on the road and have to play out at USC. I want to see him go on the road and have to play up at Notre Dame. I want to have to see him. Until he does that, he's padding the schedule. And no offense, Penn State pads the schedule. You play Buffalo, you play Temple, okay, and then you come up against a big game like Ohio State, you lose.
Well, yeah, but they don't.
Big game like Michigan State, and you lose.
But, I mean, they fought with them. I mean, it's not like they got blown out by them. Ohio State was a one-point game to the very end. And
But here's the thing. When you're in one-point games against real teams and you've played nobodies before, I mean...
And no moral victories, things like that.
Yeah. It doesn't hold any water.
Well, here's the deal. I must be I know I'm not the only person in the country who feels like with the way Ohio State is and how they're viewed by the college football committee and the NCAA, I almost feel like a 2-loss Ohio State team could still find a way in the college football playoff just because they're Ohio State. I mean, I don't think it's going to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised. I think we might end up seeing a rematch of 2012, Notre Dame and Alabama. We all know what happened there. Of course, that was 6 years, 5-6 years ago. It's different.
Or it could be a rematch in 1973 where it says number one by the number one, Notre Dame's Ara Parseghian versus Paul Bear Bryant.
Listen, the reason why Notre Dame is one of my favorite teams, they beat. Oh, see, people are already blowing up my phone and angry. They're all angry. But the reason why Notre Dame is one of my favorite teams is they beat my most hated team in the college football championship in 1988. And you know who that is? West Virginia Mountaineers. So I always thank them for that. That was the year I was born, too.
You know what? The scary king to me doesn't seem to be. I'm not as worried about Miami as I am about Stanford.
Oh, of course.
Smart people and
playing smart people. Well, you know, that's a way to look at it.
I mean, Stanford will come up with a way to be good.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, of course, still 2 more games left, but I guess we'll see what happens. But anyway, we are going to take another break here. When we come back, we'll talk Angelo's favorite NBA player. And now a word from our sponsors.
Today's programming is brought to you by NCTV45 and NC Radio 450, Newcastle's community television station. This program furnished by Sporting Goods, 23 East Washington Street, Newcastle. Call 724-658-2535. These fine businesses provided funding for this program. Gatherings, Town and Country, and On Target.
Welcome back to our third and final segment here on the Cedars Sports Corner. I'll ask our producer to take it a little easy on me right before we go into our segment, and I guess I got my answer there. But anyway, as I said at the beginning of this show, we're going to be talking LeBron James and his potential departure from Cleveland again. Los Angeles.
I don't think I'm a good player.
Well, he knows. Everybody knows he's a great player. Listen,
he's an average player that gets calls. Okay, he isn't Michael Jordan. He isn't Larry Bird. He isn't Scottie Pippen. And he isn't Magic Johnson.
So he's just average.
So he's just average.
So all his accomplishment. Okay. Anyway, I guess all his accomplishments, awards, bringing Cleveland, their first championship, and probably only for
the calls. Oh my God! You know what?
But they wouldn't even be.
It was like, oh my God, let's call a foul here in order to bring Cleveland back. Please, let's bring Cleveland back. Please, please, please.
I feel like that is a very extreme reach and oversimplification. Anyway, let's not get off track here. Like you said, though, LeBron isn't Jordan. I think every sports fan knows LeBron isn't Jordan. LeBron knows that he isn't Jordan. But what can LeBron... No, stop.
He thinks he is.
Stop. Well, okay, not yet. And this is why. LeBron knows that he will not reach, obviously, 6 NBA championships and 0 losses, especially when he already has, 5 finals losses for, he has,
a collection of losses.
Yeah, he also has 3 titles. But LeBron James can separate himself from Michael Jordan if he becomes the first NBA player to lead 3 different franchises to an NBA title with a starting primary role.
Oh my God.
That is an accomplishment.
No, wait. They purchased a title in Houston by drafting the best team and picking up all the best players and spending all the best money that they could.
In Houston?
In Miami.
Miami. You said Houston. All right, good.
Okay. So, he didn't lead that team. It was like the Olympic All-Stars played. Okay. So, when he went to Cleveland, down 3-1.
That's
every
monumental.
Call went against Golden State.
Okay.
And it proved out the next year when he went in there and they got smacked down.
There's so many things wrong with what you just said. But listen, regardless, there's so many things wrong. Listen, regardless if that's true. Let's say it is true. It doesn't matter because no one's going to remember it. What I'm trying to say is why I think LeBron's going to leave. So no one's going to remember the foul other than someone.
LA has a bigger lake.
That's Minnesota.
They call it an ocean.
Oh my goodness. What I'm trying to say is that other than typical Pittsburgh, PA residents like you, and the rest of the Steeler Nation, or I feel anyone that hates any LeBron hater, I should say, any LeBron hater, will remember the calls and stuff, but the majority of the world won't, and I feel like don't. And if he becomes the first person to win 3 championships with 3 different franchises, that's going to be something Jordan hasn't done. And I believe, because that's going to motivate him to leave, because look what's going on in Cleveland now. I mean, they're 4-6. You know, take it that when they were in Miami his first year, they started out slow too. But the point is, he doesn't owe Cleveland anything anymore. He got them a ring. He got them their championship. He can leave now. He can leave again. Okay? And what does LA have that Cleveland doesn't? Young roster, a big. I love how they're called the Lakers, by the way. They're actually called the Lakers when they were in Minnesota.
Right.
Yeah, then that name just carried over. But anyway, they have youth on that roster. LeBron doesn't have to play as many minutes, which is going to be huge for him. Cleveland, just city-wise, doesn't obviously from, just environmental standpoint, views and things like it just.
Listen, my favorite team has always been the Celtics. I love the Nets. Okay, but if I'm going to choose now, even when I do the Cedars Sports Corner, my local team is now going to be the 76ers.
Why?
Because
I hate Philly teams.
Like Cleveland.
I don't understand why people hate Cleveland. They're like the lovable losers. It's like hating, it's like bullying a little kid.
You know what? If Cleveland wanted, the Browns should hire me as head football coach.
Oh,
that would be the only way to straighten out their whole system.
Maybe for our next show we'll talk about what you would do, what any of us would do to change the Browns. Actually, I think I do like that. Maybe because that's a good one, I think. But the point I'm trying to make is why I think he's going to leave. And people are like, well, the East is so easy. They don't have to play anybody. It's true, but he's going to still have to beat Golden State anyway, regardless if it's in the West or the East. Does LeBron really want to keep having on his resume that he wins the East Conference but loses in the finals to Golden State? I don't think so. This is going to be a new adventure for LeBron James. He can leave Cleveland without feeling guilty. They're still, even if he leaves, they're still going to build a statue for him, retire his number. They're going to thank him.
No loyalty. You know what? There was loyalty with Larry Bird. There was loyalty with Magic Johnson. There was loyalty with Michael Jordan. There was loyalty with Lou Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
It's a different time, though.
Okay. There is no loyalty.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing. Who says he has to be loyal? How many times have we all, as professionals, changed jobs, careers, moved? He's allowed to do it too.
Have you ever seen me change my philosophy on Notre Dame?
No, but I'm talking about...
Have you ever seen me change the city games coming up, my philosophy on my Duquesne Dukes when they go and play Pitt?
Well, no, but I'm talking...
No. Have you ever seen me change my philosophy on the Pittsburgh Steelers? Ben has been a Steeler. He's there. He's there for the long haul. You know what? You got to have, especially since he grew up right there, He's got to be a Cleveland boy, and he's an opportunist. He goes where he thinks he can. Whatever he wants again.
What I'm saying is that shouldn't be held against them, because majority of people, they do things to better themselves. I've changed jobs before. People move, and especially in the era of super teams in the NBA. If he wants to beat the Golden State Warriors, he might have to create another super team.
Browns, I'm available for head coach. Call me.
Oh, man. Well, I just have a hunch that Angelo doesn't like Cleveland sports or the city of Cleveland, but that's just a hunch. But anyway, I want to thank you all for tuning into this Cedars Sports Corner show, and I want to thank you for putting up with our producer here harassing me, unless maybe some of you enjoy it. I'm thinking a lot of you actually probably enjoy it. But anyway, we'll be back next week, and maybe we will talk about how to fix the Cleveland Browns. But again, thank you all, and you all have a good one.
Funding provided by Four Brothers in downtown Newcastle. A special thanks to the YMCA for caring about the Lawrence County community and providing funding for this program.